Hi everyone, my name is M. Krishnaveni. I am working as assistant professor in Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. Today I am here to discuss some important points in the environmental sciences of module 3 biodiversity and biotic resources. Here today we can discuss here biodiversity status in India. India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. It is estimated that 70% of the world's total flowering plants occur in India. India gets 10th place in the world and 4th in Asia among these two mega biodiversity countries. India has 10 biogeographic zones. They are Himalaya Desert, semi-arid Western Ghats, Deccan Peninsula, Gangetic Plains, coast, Northeast Islands. It is among top 10 to 15 nations of the world for its great diversity of plant life, especially flowering plants. India is a source of traditional crop varieties, ranking first amongst these 12 regions of diversity of croplands and seventh in the contribution of agricultural species. Okay. Next, India mega diversity nation. 170 countries in the world, 12th nation have 70% of world's plant biodiversity. Among 170 countries in the world, 12 nations have 70% of the world's plant biodiversity. Australia, Brazil, China, Colombia, Ecuador, the United States, India, Indonesia, Madagascar, Mexico, Peru, and Domestic Republic. These are the 12 nations which have 70% of the world's planet biodiversity. India stands in the 12th place among the mega diversity nations. And next topic is hotspots of biodiversity. Okay, biodiversity is not uniformly distributed across the geographical regions of the earth. Megadiversity zones or hotspot zones. These hotspot zones are also called as the megadiversity zones. Certain regions of the world are the richest, rarest, and endemic species and most distinctive natural areas in biodiversity. Means that the biodiversity places are not distributed evenly around the world. Some areas are rich in biodiversity. These areas are called the megadiversity zones or hotspot zones. Among the 25 hotspots of the world, two are found in India, namely the Western Ghats and Eastern Himalayas. Okay, the Eastern Himalayas hotspot extends to the northeastern India and Bhutan. In the eastern part, we can spot the Himalayas. These Himalayas will extend from the northeastern India to the Bhutan. Next, hotspot biodiversity is the Western Ghat regions lies parallel to the western coast of India in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. The western coastal part of the biodiversity is spread among these states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Then slightly expand from east Maharashtra east to Kerala. These two areas of the country are exceptionally rich in flowering plants, reptiles, amphibians, butterflies, and some species of mammals. Okay, the Western Ghat is rich in the flowering plants, reptiles, and the amphibians, butterflies, and some of the species of the mammals. To qualify as a hotspot, an area must have the area which we can say as a hotspot. We should have at least 0.5% of the world's 3 vascular plant species as endemics. Okay, have at lost 70% of its primary vegetation. Next, coming to the Western Ghats. Okay, one of the fringes of the west coast of India extending 15,100 to 1600 kilometers. Average elevation less than 600 meters. 6 states via Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The Western Ghats, these will have the coastal area, highest coastal area of 1500 kilometers to 1600 kilometers. Okay, the Coastal areas will spread among the Gujarat. Gujarat is having the longest coastal area in the Western Ghats. Next, coming to the Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Home for 50 million people. In these states, the 50 million people will reside. Sources of water for entire peninsular India influences the monsoon. The monsoon climatic conditions will be influenced by these Western Ghats. Okay, retains 7% of original forest cover. The Western Ghats will have the 7% of the forest coverage area. World's hottest hotspots of the biodiversity. Hottest hotspot of biodiversity are present in the Western Ghats. Next, Himalayan. These will come under the Eastern Ghats. Includes the entire Indian Himalayan region and that falling in Pakistan, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, China and Myanmar. Okay, the East Himalayas which will be occurring and in the Pakistan, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, China and Myanmar. Means the Himalayan part is shared by these countries and these are all called as the Eastern Himalayas. Eastern Himalayas. Okay. And the Himalaya hotspot is home to the world's highest mountains. You know, the world's highest mountain is the Mount Everest, which is present in the Himalayas. The hotspot is home to important populations of numerous large birds and mammals, including vultures, tigers, elephants, rhinos, and wild water buffaloes. We can see here the wide variety of the animals, including the vultures, tigers, elephants, rhinos, and wild water buffaloes. This is the about the Eastern Himalayas. And next, coming to the threats of biodiversity. Okay, what is the? These are the main threats causing biodiversity. Okay, habitat destruction, fragmentation, invasive species, population growth, pollution, overconsumption. These are the main threats for the biodiversity. We will discuss one by one. Habitat destruction. Coming to the habitat destruction, changing a habitat into suit human needs for housing and farming. See, as the population is growing on year by year, the habitat will be destructed. Why? Because the lands, the lakes, the small rivers will be occupied by the humans for the construction of the homes, industries. Okay, this is called the habitat destruction. And this displaces animals and plants as the human population grows, so does habitat destruction. Due to the occupation of these habitats by the humans for the construction purposes, what will happen? The animals and plants which will be growing there will be destroyed and the population will be grows so that the habitat will be destructed, the habitat will be spoiled. This is called the habitat destruction. And next, coming to the fragmentation. Fragmentation means breaking up of large habitats into smaller habitats. This is, see, this is one large habitat. This can be break up into small pieces, break up into small areas. Okay, this is called the fragmentations. Okay, some plants and animals cannot adapt to these changes. Because of these changes, some plants and animals cannot adapt and their species will be extincted. And next, invasive species. Invasive species means any organism that has been relocated somewhere other than its original habitat. Oftentimes, invasive species outcompete native species, resulting in the disruption of the ecosystem and food chain. Many native organisms are becoming endangered by this. What is this invasive species? Means if we disturb some habitat, for example, if we occupy a lake where some types of fishes or some types of tortoise are growing, this will not habitat in the terrestrial area, means completely land area. These type of fishes, these type of animals, these type of plants where they will reside in the aquatic place, they cannot be survive in the complete terrestrial place. Okay, this is called the invasive species, and if they can survive, they will be competed for the native species. Okay, what are the plants and the animals which are growing on the terrestrial area? They will compete with this aquatic plants and animals. This is called the invasive species. Okay. Next, population growth of humans. As we know, increasing population means greater demand for food, shelter, fuel and water. Okay, see here, the buildings are very nearby, no space between the buildings. Okay, this is due to the growing population. Okay, increasing population. This leads to habit loss, pollution, resources scarcity and overconsumption. When the population will become more, what will happen? The consumption also will become more, the pollution will become more, the resources will go down, the natural resources will go down. Okay, so that the biodiversity will also be disturbed. And next, poaching of wildlife. What is meant by poaching? Illegal uh, trading of the wildlife products by killing is called poaching. Illegal trading or killing of wild animals is called poaching. Illegal trade of wild products by killing prohibited endangered animals is poaching, is another threat to the biodiversity. For example, see here the lions and the cheetahs are illegally killed and they will be transported to other places. This is called the poaching. The poaching is an environmental crime and against the natural resources. Illegal hunting of wildlife for animal products such as ivory, horn, teeth, skin and bones. These animals will be killed for their ivory. Ivory will be present for the elephants, the horns, the teeth, skin and bones. Okay. India is home to some of the most charmistic animals on the planet such as the tiger, elephant, rhino, leopard, lizard and many species of the snakes. These majestic animals were used for sport hunting. Now they are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act of India. Okay, these are the wide variety of the wild animals where the we can see in the biodiversity. Okay, and next these are becoming endangered. Why? Because of the poaching, because of the illegal hunting and trading. Next, unfortunately, the population of these magnificent wild animals of India decreasing because of poaching of ivory on teeth and skin. Due to these products, because of these animal products, they are illegally captured and killed. Tiger poaching in Sariska. Tiger poaching. Sariska Tiger Reserve is one of the national park in Rajasthan from where entire tiger population has been wiping out because of poaching. This is the Sariska is the tiger poaching reservoir in Rajasthan where the tigers will be protected. But here also due to the poaching, the population of the tigers are decreasing. Next, rhino poaching in Assam. Kaziranga National Park in Assam and Arang and Manas National Park of Assam is the only surviving home to the Indian rhino and 95% of the total wild one-horned rhino in the world. The Kaziranga National Park is very famous for the single-horn rhinoceros in the world. Okay, 95% of the total single-horned rhinoceros will be present in the Assam in the Kaziranga National Park. But they are also becoming the population of the one-horned rhinoceros also decreasing due to the poaching. And next, elephant poaching in south. We know in Western Ghats range is facing the biggest threat of animals. Due to their ivory, hunters have been killing elephants, not just Kerala. Okay, due to the because of the ivory and their skin, these elephants also been killed by the poachers. And next, conservation of biodiversity. There are two basic approaches towards conservation of biodiversity. To save the biodiversity, to save the plants, to save the animals, to maintain balance between the humans and the biodiversity, conservation of biodiversity is very important. These conservation of biodiversity can be obtained in two: in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. Coming to the in situ conservation, conservation of the species is best done by protecting its habitat alone with other species that live in nature. This is also known as in-situ conservation, which is conserving a species in its own environment by creating national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. What is meant by in-situ conservation means the animals are protected in their own area by framing certain rules. Okay, this is called the in-situ conservation. Here, the national park and wildlife sanctuaries are examples for the in-situ conservation, where they are protected in their area only by framing certain rules against the poachers and hunters. And next, exclude conservation. Outside the natural habitat in a carefully controlled situation, such as a botanical garden for plants or a zoological park for animals, where there is expertise to multiply the species under artificially managed conditions. Okay, exclude conservation means these are the where we can conserve the plants. In botanical gardens, plants are protected, and in zoological parks, animals are protected. These are artificially arranged exclude conservations. Examples: botanical gardens and zoological parks. Here they can be saved against poachers, and the expertise to multiply the species is more. Means the population of these plants and animals will grow more when we take care of them in these botanical gardens and zoological parks under artificially managed conditions. Okay, this is the exclude conservation. Next, the National Law of Biodiversity. Okay, in India, it is the Biological Diversity Act 2002. The Biological Diversity Act 2002 is framed, which was enacted to conserve biodiversity, promotes sustainable use of its components, and ensure the fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from the use of biological resources and associated knowledge. The Biological Diversity Act was framed by the Government of India in 2002. Okay, next, this act established a three-tiered institutional structure for implementation. This act will be having three-tiered institutional act. Okay, the National Biodiversity Authority, in short form it is called MBA, at the national level. It will monitor and work at the national level, National Biodiversity Authority. And next is State Biodiversity Boards, SBSs, at the state level. These work and monitor at the state level, and the Biodiversity Management Committees, BMCS, at the local levels. Okay, these are the three different forms of the biodiversity, biological biodiversity conservation protection act framed by the Act 2002. National Biodiversity Authority at the national level, State Biodiversity Boards at the state level, and Biodiversity Management Committees at the local levels. These three will monitor the plants and animals against the poachers, and they will protect the biodiversities. The reference is taken from the Conservation of Environmentalism by Robert C. and Encyclopedia of Biodiversity by Simon A. Thank you.